Okay, so it is the speaking. So this is for the 10-minute speaking video. Um, right. So let's start it. So why do we have for college graduate? For job by Solar City or Tesla or SpaceX, and if that doesn't work for whatever reason, then better jobs at other companies in that arena or just starting company. If you're an engineer and you figure out how to design new things, then it's relatively easy to start a company. You need to get a few like-minded people with you. But the space business is quite it's more harder to start a company is a space business because such capital intensive business. So maybe it's better to do something in solar power. Or if you're gonna do it in cars, do it in as kind of computer supplier of cars or something like that. Most college degrees in business physics. But the SpaceX is first venture in aerospace. How did you get this as person to be the chief technology officer of rocket ship company? Well, I do have physics background. I have fun as a foundation. And then realize rock books and talk a lot of smart people. Just follow the trend. You may have heard me say, just go to think in terms of physics, approach to first principles, which is rather than reasoning by analogy but boil things down to the most fundamental truths you can imagine and use reason from there. It's a good way to figure out if something really makes sense. It's just what everybody else is doing. It's kind of find that way. You can think that about everything is a lot of effort. But you're trying to do something new is the best way to think. And these frameworks are developed by physicists to figure out cognitive things like quantum mechanics. So it's really a powerful method. And I want to know what is the one thing that has sparked you about your life. Well, I simply as bright about one thing. Honestly, it didn't impact to me for any of these things to happen. Honestly, oh yeah, I just I know, and I wanted to be involved in technology. And in fact, the only reason I started company back in '95, and internet company was because I couldn't get any. There were a few internet companies, and I couldn't get a job at any of them. I just get a job at Nespace and sent my resume and trying to find out the lobby was trying to talk to anyone. It was like, okay, well, I guess I have to start a company because getting a job anywhere. Thank you. I'm gonna say I'm fearless. In fact, I think I feel far strongly, but if the that we going is a point where I think it's important enough, then I just override fear. So it's not a thought. I don't fear. I feel fear more stronger than I have. All right, so this is the 15 seconds advertisement. So just wait for just wait for this one. I'm gonna skip back to the video. So I started. I think also people tend to overweight risk on personal level. Something you got, a mortar to pay, kids to support, and then you work wait for your job. And when well, how you doing with your family and pay the rent? Okay, that's understandable. But let's say you're young and you're just coming out of college or coming out of high school or whatever. What do you risk? Yeah, you're not gonna stuff. I mean, it's really certainly not in any kind of modern economy. It's so easy to earn enough money to just live from where and eat food. I know what other people what they are afraid of. The most they're afraid of failure, I think. People should be less risk averse when there's not much at risk. First, the agents like basically downloading data from an algorithm into your brain, and it's actually amazingly bad in and conventional education. Is like a huge chore. Like make sure you can check the find the process of learning, the better. The process of last side is not curious because we're trying to figure out what is the purpose of things. And I come to the conclusion that if we can advance the knowledge of the world, if we grow things that span the scope and the scale of consciousness, let's be able to ask the right questions and become more analytical and really the only way forward. What drives you? What is it? Is it when you get up in the morning to see the problem and you want to solve it? The thing that drives me that I want to be able to think about the future and feel good about that. So that we're doing that we can to have a future be as good as possible. To be inspired by what's likely to happen. And also to look forward to the next day. So that what really drives me is trying to figure out how do we make sure that things are great. And I'm gonna be so and that a line is visible behind Tesla and SpaceX. I think it's pretty important we accelerate the transition to sustainable generation and consumption of energy. It's inevitable, but it matters if it happens sooner or later. And aspects is about having make life melting mentally and doing what we can to continue the dream of Apollo and ultimately make contribution to life becoming planetary. This is about more about that. I think everyone is very interested that when you say making life multi-planetary, yeah, that's exciting. It is exciting. So what's your reason there? I think particularly for Americans, if you about think about it, America is a nation of explorers, but coming from other parts of the world, that you can choose to give the known in favor of the unknown. So I think as exploration like United State is a distillation of human spirit of exploration, and so that's why it appeals to Americans so much. You know, you can see this when this was Super Check Day 7 people died, and that's terrible. But a lot of people die all the time. But why do we care so much? Because it was a dream of exploration. People dying, people it was dying along the people. That's why. When you talk about Tesla and SpaceX who failed at the beginning, you thought, yeah, sure, really, of course. Nevertheless, you put all your money in them. I better to lose it. Then well, technically, what I thought was we take half the money from people, and if I lose half of it, that's okay. Um, but then, of course, the companies encounter difficulties, and then I have a choice of either like they let company die, or put all the money into the companies, and so I really don't want the companies to die, so put all the money in the companies, yeah, and then have borrowed money from friends to pay living expenses. Not just looking just for evidence of exceptional ability, and if it is track record of exceptional achievement, then there's likely that will continue into the future. But it really depends on the stakes. The stake are high. It is really important. Then one should then and overcome the fear and just do it anyway. uh, I essentially, I mean, I just try override fear, but I feel fear kind of annoying. I wish I didn't. I wish it's less. Okay, so this is the another advertisement, and I think that is the end of this video for today. Yeah. Alright, so this is the end of this 10-minute speaking for today. Let's end it, and then we're gonna move to the 30-minute speaking, and the another 20-minute speaking later in the later in the day. Right.